Okay, we're back at it again. Peace in Pan Africanism to all my African brothers and sisters from all around the world. Welcome back to King Said So. I'm your host, King053, Mr. Easy Imali Enengenenge. I'm back with a lot of fire today, rocking one of my sponsors, Kia Black Heart. The hustle continue. So this is what we are doing today. Yesterday we had a major disturbance with the load shedding disturbing our internet connection. We tried going on once, we tried going on twice. Then I saw that it is no use because the internet kept on cutting. So my deepest apologies to the community. My deepest apologies because of that. What happened yesterday? It was really out of our hand. The load shedding disturbs all of us, affects all of us, and then we were in a situation where we could not continue with the live stream yesterday. But anyways, a lot has transpired since then. Um, some good news that has came in regarding the school, and some worrying news also. But we are happy that in everything that we do, we do, if it is for a good cause, if it is for a good initiative, I think everything is gonna come all right. Everything's gonna come all right. My goodness, what a day. So my apologies for what happened yesterday with the live feed. Really, the internet did disturb us. Or not the internet, the Wi-Fi disturbed the internet, and then as a result, we could not go live. I tried two times, but it just wouldn't give. So don't worry for Trinity in Beggarsford and Tulane in Nelspruit. I still have your numbers. I did get both of your emails, so I am going to touch you guys and organize you guys for the gift. If you just joined in, it's all right. Click the like button. Make sure you go on the comment section. Tell me if I'm audible. Tell me if I'm audible. Tell me if I'm visible. You can see me. Is everything all right in terms of the production? You guys know I'm a one-man show, so everything I have to do it, and you guys have to okay it from your side. So if you guys can hear me on the comment section, just tell me if everything is all right before we get into the business of the day today. Thank you so much, my Pan Africanist Parliament. We are waiting for some members to come in, some members of the Pan Africanist Parliament. Just a few seconds, then we start because we have a lot to discuss. We have a lot to discuss, including the school that the EFF said they're going to build 2 years ago, of which they haven't built it yet. What is the stumbling block? Why is it that a party like the EFF that have secured the land, that has secured the paperwork, and secured the funds also to build a school, but after 2 years, why is it that the EFF has not yet built that school? It's very interesting because whatever happens to that school indirectly affects us what we want to do with PASETA. PASETA is the Pan African School of Economics, Technology, and Agriculture. That is the school that we want to build for the coming generation. And it's going to be interesting how we're going to tackle um, that project, how we're going to tackle that project, and we need to be very strategic. We need to be very strategic. So, like I said, ladies and gentlemen, please feel free. Go on the comment section. Tell me, can you hear your boy? Am I audible? Am I visible? Is everything all right? Give me the okay, the thumbs up. Tell me where you are watching us from so that we can continue with the business of the day. Members of the Pan African Parliament. Thank you so much, guys, for tuning in. I really appreciate it. And I also appreciate it if you just give me a thumbs up. A thumbs up, unless if you are a spy, you're just here to listen to what we are saying. That's also okay. We appreciate your presence here. So, anyone, am I audible? Am I all right? Am I good to go? Anyone on the comment section? Anyone on the comment section? I can't, you guys, I don't have what you call, a production team. So you guys are my production team. You guys need to tell me, can you hear me or not, so that we can continue. I'll really appreciate that, so that we can continue. Tulane from Nelspruit, your t-shirt is coming. Trinity from Beggarsford, I'll get your real name. I did get both your emails. Your t-shirt is coming. Once we hit that 20,000 subscribers milestone, I'll be sending out 10 t-shirts to South Africa, different corners of South Africa. So one is already going to Beggarsford in Limpopo. The other one is going to Nelspruit in Mpumalanga. And then I have Utrina is in Gauteng. So I'll be sending those t-shirts out just to show my gratitude and appreciation to everyone that is supporting this channel as a Pan-Africanist. So let's get into it, guys. Here's a question I want you guys to ask yourselves when it comes to illegal foreigners coming into South Africa. I want us to address these illegal foreigners that are coming to South Africa, apparently to steal our land, apparently to steal our jobs. When I say our, I'm talking about us black people, apparently to take our opportunities. These illegal foreigners are bordering most South African political parties. You see the PA going to the borders of Zimbabwe. You see Operation Dudula doing the same in the communities of Soweto. You see many political parties, even the ATM party that I respect so much, their African policies, for me, they are a little bit off. And the ATM, Uvuyo Zungula, is such a great man. A lot of people are respecting him, but I'm telling you, he's not a Pan-Africanist. You know, and I think his movement is African Transformation Movement, but there's nothing that speaks about Africa and transformation, about how he speaks about other African countries. I'm going to address that. I'm going to address the stumbling block when it comes to the EFF building the school. I'm going to address some of the challenges that we're going to get when we are building our school, and how we can fight and maneuver differently on that. Dr. Uma Ifatunde, or you guys might know him as Dr. Uma Johnson in America, facing the same problems that the EFF is facing when it comes to building the school. Thank you so much for everyone for tuning in. Please make sure that you go on the comment section. Tell me where you are watching me from. Tell me if I'm audible. Tell me if I'm visible. Tell me if we are good to go. We need to attack these issues, ladies and gentlemen. And I wanted to start with the issue of illegal foreigners. South Africa is a country that has a diverse number of different countries living in it. In fact, South Africa has been rated #1 in the poll of different nationalities living in a single country in Africa. South Africa has got more. I think it is followed by Nigeria and Kenya. Yes, Nigeria and Kenya. So those countries. Then I think Rwanda is in the top 5. And what was the other one? I can't remember. But South Africa is #1. That's the bottom line. So with all of these people coming to South Africa, our neighboring countries who can walk into South Africa without necessarily going through the border of South Africa. They can swim to South Africa. Some Lesothian people can just walk into South Africa. Mozambican people can walk into South Africa. No need for passport, no need for identification. The people of Namibia can walk into South Africa. In fact, they do. The people of Botswana can also walk into South Africa, no problems. The people of Zambia, the people of Zimbabwe can Africa, no issues. And then you see the fight against our fellow African brothers, and we call them illegal foreigners, illegals, undocumented foreigners. These are the people that live in Africa, that are from Africa, but we call them illegal in our country because they did not go through the formal the structures or ways, process of getting into another country, of which is providing your passport and identification and coming into our country. Now, the question I want to ask my fellow African brothers and sisters is that if you say a Zimbabwean brother and sister is an illegal foreigner in South Africa because they came in without identifying themselves, my then follow-up question is, then what do you call the Dutch people? What do you call then the Afrikaner people? What do you call then the British people? What are they? If these Zimbabweans and Namibians and Lesothans, these Mozambicans, these Botswanas are illegal immigrants in our time, in our country, then what is it that we call our colonizers? Because I always ask people, I say, who gave white people the citizenship of Africa? Nobody wants to answer this question. In fact, it is the black people that then protect the white people. When you ask white people this question, they remain silent because they know you have a point. You ask them, since you say you are a South African, who gave your grandparents citizenship of this land? You came here via the ship. You came here to steal. You came here to rob. You came here to rape. You came here to lie. You came here to split our people from their religion, their tradition, and all their beliefs. And then you gave yourself citizenship of our land. Yes, 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 yes. Of course. And I don't know why is it that my channel always has white people here commenting. He says, "You so you are racist," is what you are saying. No, I'm not racist. I'm not asking. I'm not fighting anyone. I'm asking the question: who gave white people citizenship in Africa? Which king people, especially the Dutch and the British, when we speak about South African content, citizenship into our land? Who? Who was the first Dutch person to be African? You understand what I'm saying? Because pre-1994, the Dutch people, the Afrikaner people, never addressed themselves or referred to themselves as Africans. You remember the signs were saying European and black, European and African. They used to call themselves European, and rightfully so, they are European. They are European. They come from the Netherlands, they come from the Dutch countries, they come from all of those countries, they come from England and all of that. All the people that have colonized Africa, the French, the Portuguese, the Belgians there in the DRC, who gave them citizenship here in Africa? I'm waiting for an answer in the comment section because I see I've got a lot of white people here tuned in. I don't know what you guys are doing here. This is a Pan-Africanist movement. Here we advocate for black unity. Here we advocate for black people to stand up. Here we advocate for one Africa, one language, Kiswahili. Here we advocate for one Africa, one currency. We advocate for one Africa, one army. And we advocate for one Africa with 54 regions, but one president. Just like North America. You know what I'm saying? We advocate for African unity. We're not fighting with any other race. We don't care about any other race. In fact, when it comes to the white race, there isn't a country, a single country, and I keep on repeating this. I hope you guys got it. There isn't a single country in the whole world where white people live in peace with other people. There isn't a single country in the whole world where white people, Caucasian people, live in peace and harmony with other races. You can't name one. Just one. You can't name one country That is, and it's funny that a person would say, that is so racist, so you are racist, that's what you mean. Okay. Where have you heard a white person coming from Europe, or coming from America, coming from Asia, coming to visit one of the African countries for tourism purposes? And when they go back to wherever they come from and they say, oh my God, those black people were so racist to me because I'm white. Where have you heard it? You have never heard it. You have never heard a white American coming to South Africa and getting treated, what you call, um, discriminated because they are white. You've never heard it. But you, as a black person, go to Italy and look at the treatment that you're going to get. You, as an African person, go to England and see what type of treatment you're going to get. You, as an African person, go to America and just see what type of treatment you're going to get from the white people. You, as an African, go to Russia, go to Poland, go to Ireland, go to Greece, go to whatever country as a black person. Racism is what they're going to. Racism is what is going to greet you at the airport coming in, at the hotels coming in. You're going to get. You will see on the comment section, because when someone lacks intellectual logic or superior logic, they go into cursing and all of that, because they can't reason with you. They don't know how to reason with you. When here in South Africa, when have you heard of a racist incident that involves a black person being racist to a white person? Go in the comment section, my African people. Go in the comment section and tell me. I can tell you many racist incidents recently where white people were racist to black people. Recently, don't have to go far. The case in Groblersdorp Road and all of that. No, they are swearing because it's hurting them. The truth hurts. Remember, the truth hurts. So I say, if we are calling our fellow Zimbabwean brothers and sisters, our fellow Namibian brothers and sisters who are born here in Africa, who have a lineage, their bloodline comes from Africa, what should we call the Dutch colonizers? Why should we call them South Africans and call them Africans when they are not from here? Who gave white people the passport, the citizenship of Africa? Who? Because we have accepted them now as Africans, which is total rubbish. You, as a black person, when you are born in America, they are quickly to remind you that you are an African American. They are quickly to remind you that you're an African American. You, as an African person born in France, they are quickly to remind you that you are African French. You, as a black person born in Asia, in China, they are quickly to remind you. You understand what I'm saying? They remind us everywhere that, listen, you are not from here. I don't care if both your parents they gave birth to you in England. You will always feel like an African, because Africa is where you are from. Africa is where your people are from. You understand? So come back home and build your own country. We will receive you very well. There's those Africans move on. You went to settle by force. It will not happen here. Without citizenship, we send you back. We will send you back. Come back home and build your own country. We are building our country. No, I'm not sure who this person is speaking to. Be specific when you're speaking on the comment section, haters. We need to know your minds. And when you say build your own country, be specific. When you say come back home, be specific so that we can answer you accordingly. Because here we use superior logic. We don't argue. I don't argue with I only argue with my equals. The rest I educate. Let me say that again. I don't argue. with fools. I argue with my equals. The rest I educate. As a Pan Africanist, it is my job. I'm talking to the people who came over to take. Oh, yeah. Okay, okay. Thank you so much. Thank you, Beverly, for being specific. Thank you so much. Thank you. They need to go back to their country and build their countries. But remember, which country in the whole world was not built by Africans? Which one? Which one? Which country in the world was not built by Africans in its infant years? Which country? Which country did not utilize Africans to build their their infrastructure? We're talking about 100 years ago, 200 years ago, 300 years ago. Which country has built? Which country is in existence and is successful without the help of Africans? Which one? Let's leave those 300 years ago. Today's world, which country can survive without the minerals they are looting from Africa? Somebody tell me. Somebody tell me. Can France keep their lights on without looting Niger? Can France keep their lights on without looting west of Africa? Can the Chinese keep their lights on, their batteries strong without looting the DRC? Can any country survive without the oil they are getting from Africa, Angola, Nigeria? Can any country survive without Africa? You tell me. Let's go on the comment section and you tell me. I'm waiting. Because I'm sick and tired of people calling my fellow Zimbabwean brothers and sisters foreigners, illegal foreigners, but then turning around calling the Dutch people, the Afrikaner people, the what you call the British people South African because they are born in South Africa, calling them Africans because they are born in South Africa. When the great king Shaka Zulu was fighting with the Dutch settlers, he asked them one question. He said, because Shaka Zulu was not only wise in military strategies, he was wise also economically, because these people are here to make you believe that only after they came here, then we became civilized. How do you think the Zulus made the spears that they were using in the wars? How can you make a spear when you don't understand science? How can our kings and queens were wearing gold and diamonds when they did not understand mining? You see the stories of how the colonizers tell you. They want to make you believe when they came here, Africans were hanging from trees like monkeys. That's what they want you to believe. They want you to believe that you are uncivilized, you are like animals. But when they fought you, they forgot to erase the part where they said you were using spears. How do you make a spear? Go and make a spear right now. Go and make a spear right now. Go and make a crown. Our kings were wearing crowns. Go and get diamonds without mining. Go and get a diamond is made in high pressure underneath the ground. Don't find diamonds hanging around on the surface of the earth. Ask us, because I stay here in Kimberley, where we have the big hole, where thieves and murderers like Kimberley, who are throwing people, black people, into the big hole. The big hole is the biggest man-made hole in the whole world. The big hole, dug by people. People were thrown in there. Oh my goodness. My apologies, the internet is starting again. My goodness. Yesterday about this time, it was doing the same thing, and really it disturbed my momentum. My apologies for that. My apologies for that. When Johannesburg was getting Namibians, was getting Zimbabweans, was getting Zambians to come and dig the gold out of the ground in Johannesburg. paying them peanuts to dig the gold. The African people that you call foreigners build South Africa, build Johannesburg. Here in Kimberley, Kimberley was the first city in South Africa to get electricity, according to what they say. You can Google that. According to what Kimberley was the first city to have the a stock exchange. First city to have lights here in South Africa. It was built by Namibians, Zimbabweans, Botswanans, people that you call foreigners, our Lesotho brothers and sisters. So the question then remains, who gave the Dutch settlers of our land? Who? The same question that Jacob Zuma was asking. Why is it that we call ourselves Africans, but we want to ruled by courts that use the Dutch, the Roman laws, the British laws? You know, they are not even embarrassed to quote, it is a Roman law of 1862 that says whatever. To us Africans, we must listen to them. And I'm telling you, right, African leaders. I mean, we have had the manifesto of the EFF. You've had the manifesto of who went first? Busasa, and I'm not Busasa, excuse me. Build One South Africa, Boza of Musima Imane, and you had the manifesto of Rise Mzansi. You didn't hear any of those people speaking about getting rid of English as our medium language, as our official language. How come that English is not a language in Africa, but it is a language of choice here in Africa for many countries? When is Africa going to liberate itself? When are politicians going to fight this language issue? Because if we can't fight the language issue, we'll never fight the currency issue. We'll never fight the other issues. You go to China, the Chinese president speak, what do you call their language again? Someone go in the comment section. What their hindrance or mindrance or whatever their language is? Somebody help me on the comment section. What is the Chinese language that they speak? The Chinese, they don't speak Chinese. They speak. Somebody wise on the comment section. Mandarin, yes. Thank you so much. Yeah, Mandarin, yes. They speak that language. You go to, thank you so much, Tulani. Thank you so much. Welcome, my brother. You go to Russia. Do you think the Russian president Putin speaks English? Huh? The Russian president, do you hear him speaking English? Go to France. Go to the French president. Do you hear him speaking English? Go to Japan. Listen to what Kim Jong-un or whatever his name is speaking. Have you ever heard him address his nation in English? South Africa has got 500 and something languages. 500 languages in all of the 58 countries that we have. And they keep on adding these countries because African countries continue to fight. So don't be surprised if what is happening in the east of Congo, there's a breakaway small country there, what is going to happen there. Because Congo is already divided by two. So you don't hear political parties speak about this. The funny thing is today we had a manifesto of the DA, one of the most useless parties in the whole world, led by someone who does not even have matric. Nobody makes fun of that. When it was Jacob Zuma, it was all fun and funny that Jacob Zuma does not even have standard 4. But John Steenhuisen, he's okay. He can. John Steenhuisen can have no matric and lead the people. I want to read something to you guys of the DA. I want to read something to you guys of the DA that I saw that was very interesting in their manifesto, and I'm going to make a video about it separately. So the DA rescue plan for South Africa has got 7 key points. The DA rescue plan has got 7 key points. Okay, 7 key points. I'm sorry, I'll get by a few months, 2 months, we'll have a fully set up studio where I can just pop this on the screen as I'm speaking. I'm still a new YouTuber. You will excuse me on that. The first point that the DA wants to do is to improve South Africa. What they want to, their plan for the next 5 years, they want to rescue South Africa. They want to create 2 million jobs. That's what they are saying, number one. Number two, they want to end load shedding. And then they want to lower the level of violence, crime. Number two, they want to crush corruption. And then number three, and number four, where are we? Yeah, number five, they want to lift 6 million people out of poverty. They want to lift 6 million people out of poverty. And number seven, ensure quality health care for all. Now, if you are a black person voting for the DA, these people are talking nothing about land. Land is not part of their agenda. They are not going to give you back the land. They are talking nothing about nationalizing the mines, the minerals, and the benefit of the mines, the profits of the mines being equally distributed amongst its society that it exists in. The DA says nothing about advancing or fixing the historical injustice of black people here in this country. So why would you, as a black person, want to go vote for the DA? Explain to me. What is the reason that you, as a black person, would want to go vote for the DA? Well, the only example they make about good governance is Cape Town, and Cape Town is a city in the Western Cape. And in Cape Town, crime is rising. They don't tell you that. In Cape Town last year, there was DA members in municipalities that were arrested for fraud. 7 members. They don't tell you that. DA took over Tshwane, and taking over Tshwane, they then destroyed that city. They sent back from the budget of Tshwane, they sent back 2 billion rand. Are you listening to me? 2 billion back to treasury without using it, because they don't want to use it and make the ANC look good. They could have solved that water problem in Hammanskraal. They didn't. They could have solved the service delivery problems in Mamelodi. They didn't. Amana Auto says, talking about the land, Zimbabwean people are being attacked by ZANU-PF right now. The issue with Zimbabwe and Zimbabwean people, number one, Zimbabwean men are not willing to die to save their country, for them to move out of the land. What ZANU-PF is doing to Zimbabwean is really, it makes me angry. What ZANU-PF is doing to our fellow Zimbabwean people. The DA is a representative of imperialists. Of course. They will make you think that running South Africa is like running a company. It does not work like that. Their biggest issue with, I'm going to come back to the Zimbabwean issue. Their biggest issue is that ANC did cadre deployment. They are crucifying the ANC to say ANC has cadre deployment. Okay, the ANC has cadre deployment. Now tell me, when Cyril Ramaphosa took charge of the country, 2019, right? 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Yes, 2019. About, yeah, towards the end of 2019. In the middle of 2019, actually, they had to chase Jacob Zuma before the elective conference in December. Now, Cyril Ramaphosa made the biggest mistake that any president has ever made in South Africa. Because he wanted to run away from this issue of cadre deployment, he got rid of Brian Molefe, the guy who was running ESCOM perfectly. And then he went outside the ANC ranks for the first time ever. He went out of the ANC rank. He went out of the skin color rank. He went out from employing black people, and he employed a man who had no experience in ESCOM or electricity or engineering by the name of Andre de Ruyter. Now, if you are talking about cadre deployment, what is that? Why did Cyril Ramaphosa, of all the people that were qualified to run ESCOM? Remember, ESCOM, they lied to us that ESCOM was broken and was ever. I'm going to answer your question now. I still have to go back to the Zimbabwean issue. Cyril Ramaphosa employing Andre de Ruyter was the biggest mistake that a South African president has ever made. It is worse than Nelson Mandela going to bed with the people that sent him to prison. It is worse. You hear what I'm saying? It is worse because Andre de Ruyter did not go to ESCOM to fix the load shedding issue. He went to ESCOM to go and investigate and try to expose the crime that was happening there. Now, I ask my fellow South African brothers, if there is crime at ESCOM, and your answer, if there is crime in ESCOM, but you as a normal citizen there in your house, your lights are on, do you care? Because only when Andre de Ruyter came in, then suddenly the crime is affecting the lights. He then doubled it up and said ESCOM was losing 1 billion every month. He said, Andre de Ruyter said ESCOM is losing 1 billion each month. Now, people who are stupid, who don't know how a supply chain and everything works, ESCOM does not have cash. The money is in the bank. There is a process of approving a tender document. There is a process of approving a payment, which involves the CEO, which was him, the CFO, and the manager, the director of the supply chain. So what he was saying is that he was involved in the 1 billion rand that was being looted every month. He then said there is a high-profile ANC politician who is looting who is looting ESCOM. But till today, he did not tell us who that person is. So we don't know what to believe. Sadly, he then quit. After quitting, all of a sudden he released a book. And then he said also that he himself hired special investigators to come and investigate the situation at ESCOM. These are all things done by one man. And guess what? After he quits, 3 months after he quits, he gets a job in the USA. In a university in the USA. Guess what was his position there? To go and teach about renewable energy and how to manage energy. The man that has failed in ESCOM quit his job in ESCOM, then went to go find a job in a university in America. That should tell you everything if you are smart. It's called self-love. Speaking your language raises your self-esteem. they vote for the DA simply to seek recognition and to be seen as civil and not as primitive. Hopefully, this year they will not vote DA. They will continue voting this DA this vote. There is no race like black people that sucks on white people's what you call white people's asses. Now, let me just cover this one of Andres asking, what do you think about Malema? Okay, as a Pan-Africanist, there's three ways of judging if a politician is pro-African or is going to be a good politician for his people. Three ways. The first thing that you can judge if a politician is genuine or whatever. If you are enjoying the news, the debate, please make sure you click the like button. I will appreciate that. And leave a comment on the comment section telling us which issue you want us to address. Tell me where you are watching from. I will appreciate it. Let's answer the Malema issue. As a Pan-Africanist, there's three things I'm looking for in an African leader that tells me that he's a good leader. Number one, and which we cannot compromise on this one. Number one, the colonizers have to hate you with passion, not just dislike you, hate. Now I ask you, from all the presidents of the ANC, Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, Jacob Zuma, Cyril Ramaphosa, Kgalema Motlanthe. Kgalema was interim, but anyway, he was a president for some time. From all of these presidents, which person was hated most by white people? Nelson Mandela, Thabo Mbeki, Kgalema Motlanthe, Jacob Zuma, Cyril Ramaphosa. Which person was hated mostly by white people? And the answer is simple. It was Jacob Zuma. So I'm answering the Malema issue. You cannot be liked by your colonizers if indeed your pursuit of releasing or liberating your people is genuine. So number one, Malema is hated by his colonizers. That's good. White people don't like Malema. Number two, does that African leader speak about the unity of Africans? Meaning, does he speak out when he sees racism happening in South Africa, happening in other African countries? How does he speak about other African countries? And Malema ticks that box too. Number three, does he do what he says he will do? Now, as a Pan-Africanist, I've said it many times, when we come to voting for a political party, we can't get everything that we want. Because politicians flip-flop. Because when they get into power, they realize what they are against. And then some of them subconsciously decide this is not worth dying for. And then they back down a little bit, especially as they get older. Young politicians don't care. You couldn't tell the children of 1976 that they must stop. Their parents would have told them, don't do it. The white man will kill you. But the children did not care. Like I said, there's no revolution in any country that will take place without the youth. If the youth leads a revolution in any country, it will be successful. Because the youth, they don't have fear of death. Why? Because they don't have anything to lose. So in Zimbabwe, we need to see young people rise up and say, we are willing to die. And in Zimbabwe, it should be easy because the police don't even carry guns. Only the army carries guns in the police in Zimbabwe. So I don't understand what is the fear that ZANU PF can bully our Zimbabwean brothers and sisters so much. You understand? I'm going to, guys, you don't understand. Jensen says you are actually making a good point. You got yourself a new subscriber. Thank you so much. Welcome home. Welcome home. And again, I will always say when it comes to YouTube channels, and especially YouTube channels that claim to be Pan-Africanist, follow the principles and not the person. Do not dislike me because I'm wearing glasses and whatever. Follow the principle. What is it that I'm saying about Africans? What is it? What are my stands about African issues? How are you an African leader, but you support LGBTQ, the letter gang crew? How are you an African leader? You make noise about Palestine, but you make no noise about Congo. You make no noise about what is happening in Ethiopia and Somalia. You make no noise about what is happening in South Sudan. You make no, I mean, in Sudan. You make no noise about what is happening in Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. You make absolutely no noise as to what is happening with the rebels that are attacking the north of of Nigeria. You make no noise where a young politician in Ghana, Sonko, is put in prison because he is influencing the youth to rise up, jailed, and his crime is influencing the youth wrongly. You make no noise about what is happening in the DRC, in the east part of DRC. You make no noise. But when it comes to Palestine, you make all the noise, all the crazy noise. I'm not saying let's not support other countries, but I'm saying let's start with our own first. That is Pan-Africanism. And I'll never be apologetic about that. You can hate me, you can unsubscribe, you can whatever. When you come back 10 years from now, you will find me still standing on this issue that I will protect my people first before I protect others. I want the unity of my people first before I can speak about others. Other people are okay, honestly, to be honest with you. Other people are okay. It is only us Africans that are suffering. And the problem with the Africans, when we have to be honest, we no longer just fighting our enemies, our colonizers. We're fighting our own also. You know who the founder of the DA is. You know that the DA is funded behind racism. It's the National Party. But you vote for them. You vote for Steenhuisen. That's what you do as Africans. And you ask yourself, why is it our African brothers and sisters, they refuse to wake up? My goodness. Who is the best president in Africa ever? Oh, let me leave ever alone. I'm a young man. I'm a young man. When it comes to ever, make a proper informed judgment when it comes to the word ever. You understand? And it will the perception will differ from one country to another. Other people will feel like in Mozambique it was Samora Machel. Other people will feel like in South Africa it was Oliver Tambo. Other people, well, he was not the president of the country but of the ANC. Other people will feel like Robert Mugabe was the best president ever as a Pan-Africanist. I can tend to agree with that. Other people will then go further, say Patrick Lumumba. Other people would then say Thomas Sankara. It will go on and on. But what I know about right now, as I'm alive right now, as I'm speaking to you right now, live on YouTube, the best president right now, according to me, and you can disagree if you want, is Ibrahim Traoré of Burkina Faso, the 35-year-old president. If you haven't read about this guy, if you haven't seen this guy, if you don't know the story of Burkina Faso, after this live link, please make sure that you go and research about Ibrahim Traoré of um, of Burkina Faso. That for me is an example of what Pan Africanism means. You understand what I'm saying? The way that young man, he was 34 at that time when he took over his country. The way he took over his country and the way he's improving his country and the way he's getting rid of everything that has to do with the French footprint in that country. Also, the president, the commander of what you call the commander of Mali, also a young commander, Assimi Gyota. Assimi Gyota is also a great president right now. And also Ado Rahami of Niger is also a great president. I would have said in Liberia, they had a good president by the name of George Weah, who was a former former footballer who played for Manchester, who played for big teams. I think he was also a great president, but they voted him out by 1%, then voted an old man in. You know, with Africans, how we are with voting this old man in. So for me, Ibrahim Traoré is the best president right now. Like I said, I cannot comment on ever, because the other president I'm talking about, by the likes of Thomas Sankara and Samora Michel and all of them, they were actually assassinated before their time. They never lived a full life. You understand? Thomas Sankara died at the age of 35, I believe. So you can't really make a proper judgment. It's not like Mugabe and Nelson Mandela, who had a longer lifespan. The problem with Mugabe, he overstayed his stay in Rome. Let's address the issue of school, especially in the rural areas. Okay, I'm with you. I'm with you. I'm 100% with you, Katla. The reason why I want to build the PASETA school, the Pan African School of Economics, Technology, and Agriculture, is because school, the way it's structured now, because of we are copying the European people and how they set up the school systems. You come out of a school with no skill. You come out of a school, I don't care if it's crèche, high school, primary, varsity, college. You come out there with no tangible skill. You come out with the knowledge, maybe. Sometimes you come out with no knowledge also. You come out more confused than what you are when you went in. That knowledge then requires an industry or an economy for you to practice that knowledge. So if that sector that you want to go into, the financial sector or the financial industry, is blocked, you then cannot use the knowledge. The schools in the rural areas. Number one, the government, I said, the only way to improve public schools in the rural areas, urban areas, everywhere, is that the politicians' children must go to government schools. The politicians' families must go to government hospitals. In no time, hospitals and schools will improve to first class. They will improve over a year. In just a year, you will see schools improving, because politicians' children will be two with one teacher. The ratio, it defeats the purpose itself. It's simply a joke. I believe as the 80s, Us born in the 80s, we are the last generation to get quality teachers. The 90s got them as they were going to retirement. The 90s got them as they were entering retirement. The 2000s, they don't have anything we can call quality teachers. Let's be honest, my people. So when it comes to schools, especially in the rural areas, forget about those schools being improved if the government is not a pan-Africanist government. The government will not care if your child at a rural area falls in a pit toilet and dies in sewage. The government will not care because they are not pro-black. And remember, oh guys, who's going to fight for our African children? I remember in one school in the Eastern Cape, they had incidents where I think 3 children died in the same school in a pit toilet. Here in Cyril Ramaphosa's time. And you ask yourself, if indeed our president is a billionaire, because that's what they're calling him in South African currency, he's a billionaire. In his heart, somewhere, he get moved in his heart somewhere that a child has died in his school, because public schools are the president's schools. A child, a grade 4-year-old, has fell into the pit toilet and drowned in shit and died. The Department of Education does nothing. The president does nothing. It's been reported on the newspaper. 2 months, 3 months passes, the same school, another child dies. So tell me, what hope does the rural people have if me and you who stay in that rural area don't stand up and say, listen, how much is it to make a flushing toilet? I built a flushing toilet for my grandmother. Which year was it? I think it was 2019, because she started having problems with her legs and she couldn't walk far. My grandmother got a vast piece of land, so going to the toilet, it's a walk. It's a short walk of maybe 25 to 30 meters, 25 to 30 meters to the toilet from the house. And because of that, I decided, no, man, let me build a toilet in my grandmother's house so that she can walk. It cost me less than 10,000 rand. So if I am this poor that I am, how is it possible that a president who's a millionaire can't build a toilet out of his pocket? Never mind the president, the premier of that province, the Eastern Cape, where children are falling and dying in toilets, does he not have a 10,000 rand to build a proper? You people. The Malema guy definitely matches one of our leaders here in the West. He's a bit full on though. Yeah, listen, don't ever trust politicians 100%. But Malema, which country are you commenting from? Just tell me which country are you commenting from, so that we can know exactly where you are watching us from. Johnson, it is not the same with what we say about African people here. Remember what most of our fans say when the African men miss the penalties. What are you guys talking about penalties now? We need to focus more on our continent than what's happening outside. Exactly. That's what I'm saying. We need to focus more. Jason, thank you so much. Jason Simon, thank you so much. We need to focus more on what is happening in Africa. We need to fix Africa. if it fixes its export issue first before any other issue, all African countries put their feet down and say, we are not exporting raw materials. Already poverty is out. A country like Congo, that is the richest in minerals, cannot have poverty. It does not make sense. Why is Chita? What is the president's name um, uh, of Congo? Chita, what? Just forget his name. He cannot allow the Chinese to loot the minerals, cobalt, so much that his people are not benefiting from. If you watch my channel, you know what I'm talking about. You know exactly what I'm talking about. Focus on Africa first. We fix the currency issue second. Because Africa is backed by minerals, our currency will be stronger than the pound and the dollar. Much stronger, 4, 5 times, 6 times, 10 times stronger than any currency in the world. Meaning now we will be importing at a cheaper rate. Our fuel will be cheaper, our food will be cheaper, everything will be cheaper because Africa will be making money. Let me see. All right, brother. I have to go on. Keep spreading the true love. Okay, no problem. I'll keep on spreading the true love. No worries. I'm here. That's what I do. That's what. All right. Okay. Go to small places, especially where there are no development. You will understand why I say that. No, I totally understand what you are saying, my brother. I totally understand why you are saying what you are saying. I understand it. I'm saying the politicians simply don't care. That's what I'm saying. They don't care because they are not Pan-Africanists. They have lost the African consciousness altogether. They are dead. Babo, welcome. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for tuning in. Always a pleasure to have you here. Big up, King, to yourself, up to yourself. EFF Malema 2024, we say. We don't see any alternative in South Africa. The EFF not only is a good party to take over, but Julius Malema is surrounded by intellectuals. Julius Malema is surrounded by intellectuals. If we go education-wise, no other political party in South Africa can match the EFF. Go in the comment section and tell me if I'm right or wrong. Qualification-wise, when we go qualification-wise, and we speak about the top 10, top 20 politicians in each political party, the EFF is the best when it comes to the Katlego King. King, is community allowed to build their schools in the township? Okay, let's get into that since Katlego wants to get into that. The EFF 2 years ago, in 2022, promised the community in Limpopo that they will build a school. They will build their own school in the cries of the community crying out to say, listen, our education system is shit. Everything is rubbish. We don't have enough schools and whatever. The EFF committed that they want to build a school. Till today, the EFF has not gotten a clearance letter from the Department of Education. Okay, we know that the EFF is an opposition to the ANC, so it's not easy. It's not going to be easy for the EFF to get a clearance to for the school to be legal in South Africa. Number one. Number two, I myself have said this channel will be a channel that has a mission of building a school and other institutions, not only a school. I said the school will be the first one. The name of the school is PASETA, Pan-African School of Economics, Technology and Agriculture. After, if you were on yesterday, you will know that I was struggling with the Department of Education just for the process of registering on their database, not the process of getting the certificate of having a school, the process of registering on their database. And that is why I stopped most of you that say, King, can I send you money for the school? I said, no. We don't have a bank account of the school right now. We don't. The school is non-existent. It's just on paper and in our mouth. Until the school is registered at the Department of Education, until everything is good is to go, then I can start taking people's money. I'm not a thief. I'm not a crook. I'm not going to take people's money just for the sake of it. And that's the mistake that Dr. Uma Johnson, Dr. Uma Ifatunde made. And that's why you will see most Americans hate him because of that school. He took over 6 years now building that school. He's also at a point where he's waiting for a clearance letter for the Marcus Garvey School of whatever, Pan African School of whatever, there in America, to enter the school, to officially open it. But the government is deliberately not giving him that certificate. And I'm telling you, they're not gonna give it to him for some time, because the government understands that if Black people can now realize that they can build their own schools, it will make the ruling party out of fashion. So they gatekeep that industry of who opens a school. If you are white, it's easy for you to build a private school. If you are Black in South Africa, it's difficult for you to build a school. I'm saying this because I got the forms finally yesterday. I got the forms on the process of registering. What they require from me as the person who's registering from. I'm going to make a video tomorrow morning. Check it out. I'll put the whole form there to explain to you guys. But there's things that they are requiring that I don't have. These things, they block you with red tape. That's what they are doing. Fine print, terms and conditions, right there on the bottom, so that you can build that school that you want to build in your community, even if you have the money, even if you have the land. Remember, the EFF has the money and the land where they have identified where they want to build the school, but they don't have the clearance letter, the what do they call it? The certificate of competence to build a school. They don't have it. Wow, spot on. You're a gem. Hope to follow African will listen to fellow Africans will listen to you more. Yes, politicians' children should go to public schools. You are talented. We should steal you. Where are you gonna steal me from? Which African country are you stealing me to? Because I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. I need to travel Africa. I need to travel Africa to spread the word of Pan-Africanism. I have a book titled "I Said Linna." This is my book. This is me right there. When I was still young, this book I think we released in 2019, if I'm not mistaken. Should be before that. 2018, 2019, when I released this book. I'm busy writing a second book titled Seed of a Black Child, of where I will be attacking most of these political issues on that book. So expect that book next year. I won't lie and say I will finish that book this year, because there's a lot of research and everything that I must put in that book. But anyway, I said Linna is Linna, for those who don't stay in South Africa, means me too. I said me too. Linna means me too. Linna is Pedi, Sotho, or Tswana. Either of those three languages have got the same meaning for these letters here. Linna. I was tired of complaining about the problems that I have in my life, poverty and everything. And I said, Linna, I said, me too. I said, why is it that I can make it like other people have made it? You have heard people, speaking about their background. They come from poverty background, sleeping without meals and everything. But at the end of the day, they made it. Such stories we can say, what you call our former president Jacob Zuma, no education background, got out of school in grade 2 and all of that, but at the end he managed to become a president of the country. We can make many examples. And I ask myself, why is it that I can't make it too? What is my problem? Has God made a half man in me? Am I going to complain forever? That is when the spirit of Pan Africanism ignited from within me. And you're watching me from Sydney. Sydney. You're watching me from Sydney. So I'm saying to you guys, we as Africans, number one, have to stop calling other African brothers and sisters foreigners and calling the Dutch colonizers, the French colonizers, the Portuguese colonizers Africans. We must stop calling those people Africans. They are not Africans. They will never be Africans. They know it in their heart. Watching you from the closet. Why are you in the closet? Why are you in the closet? You people. Like, you people. Until we return to your spirit identity at Al-Kabuland. Al-Kabuland is the former name of Africa. No amount of politics, theology will shape our destiny as human beings. God created Garden of Eden for all humans to benefit from it. Eden is Africa. Africa is also known as, its former name was also Eden. You can't tell me, when you say all, my issue is all. I don't play around with this word all. All means black, white, Chinese, Greek, Russian, American. I don't play around with all. I'm here for Africans, not for all. I don't give a shit about all. Nobody gives a shit about Africans. So why should I give a shit about other people? I'm here for Africans. I don't use the word all. I don't use the word multiracial. I don't use the words what do they call South Africa again? Rainbow nation. I don't subscribe to such nonsense. Africa first, everyone else last. We have suffered enough, fellow Africans. We have suffered enough, fellow Africans. Here we are today communicating in English. English is not an African language. Afrikaans is not an African language. It's a Dutch language. French is not an African language. The stupid Italians are not an African language. The heartless murderous Belgians, the Portuguese, those are not African languages. African presidents must stand up and say, enough is enough. We have to speak an African language. If we languages, why can't we do it in Kiswahili? Why not? Huh? When we greet, why can't we say habari? Mimi na King. Nina furaha kukutana na wewe. Which means, hello, my name is King. It is a pleasure to meet you. In Kiswahili. Mina ninojifunza Kiswahili kidogo kidogo. Asante sana. That is Kiswahili. Beautiful language. Why don't we unite behind that language? Why don't we unite behind Zulu? Why don't we become Igbo? I don't care what African language that we must unite behind, but let that language be taught in the schools. When is Africa going to stop speaking European languages? That is the question. That is what we are fighting for as Pan-Africanists, for Africa to wake up. But Africa does not want to wake up. The presidents don't want to wake up. And there is no liberation outside politics. There isn't. You have to affect and impact politics for change in a country to happen. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. It's paining me because where I'm from, the schools are a bit far, especially primary schools. And other problem is that the kids have crossed the bridges even where there's floods. My goodness. My goodness. You know, we want to help. We want to help, you know, but we are at the mercy of these evil politicians. Don't you think the people of Zimbabwe want to help the situation in Zimbabwe? But look at what ZANU PF is doing to them, chasing them out of their land, killing them, sending opposition parties to prison, beating them, kidnapping them. That is what is happening in Africa. Look at what happened in Senegal. The young man Sonko is there in prison. The president moves the election date. The election date was supposed to be in February. He moves it. The president moving the election date. Say, no, we're not ready now. We're going to do election on some other time. Let me put some more lights on so you guys can see me. I hope that's better. I hope that's better. I don't understand what you're saying. Well, you don't want to understand. Are you Jesus? Because you're always watching me. Yes, Queen. What are you guys talking about? You guys on the comment section sometimes look. Africa must stand together to fight it for a common enemy. Our colonizers is the common enemy that you're speaking about. Our colonizers is the enemy that you're speaking about. These people, are you Jesus? Because you're always watching me. Why are you wearing glasses designed and developed in Europe? How do you know they are designed and developed in Europe? How do you know that? How do you know that? How do you know that? The black company that I support, that did my glasses, what I'm wearing here, you can see it's written Black Heart, the black company that I support. And of course, I'm not going to say everything that I own is black produced, because Africa keeps on getting looted by these European countries that you're talking about. So this black company that I did my classes in, they are struggling because they can't compete with the white companies like Specsavers and what's the other company? They are struggling to produce one pair, cost them 3 times more than the white companies, because the white companies can produce in bulk, and the black person who tries to get in that industry, he gets kicked out. The example again that I can make is the supermarkets. ShopRite, Pick and Pay, Checkers, OK, and what's the other one? Johan Rupert shops. It is not easy for a black person to go into that market and compete with those people. Number one, they buy in bulk. When you start your business, you're not going to buy in bulk. And remember, when they started their business back in the apartheid days, they were supported by the apartheid government that gave them the starter pack, the starting funds to start these businesses. So Johan Rupert took over the businesses of his father. No, Johan Rupert. Yes, Johan Rupert. The Oppenheimers is intergenerational wealth. It's not one company. It's not one person building from scratch. Africans are only allowed to be rich if they are in entertainment or sports, not in serious industries. And thank you for pointing out, say, I'm wearing European glasses. And Africans, we must be embarrassed by white people saying this. Why are we using microphones from China? Why are we using phones from China? When is Africa going to be liberated? These type of questions must be sparked so that we can say we are proudly African, drive the African car. I own a German machine. I own a German machine. Just imagine how many years an African country that produces its own cars is going to take to catch up to BMW if we don't support it. But if the government says no more import of BMWs, BMW will die in our country and our own brands will flourish. But as long as the government does not tax these companies high so that it becomes difficult for them to sell a car in our country, we will never be fully liberated as long as the government does not favor black businesses. I hope I answered your question, Corzer or whatever your European name is. Here comes Potgieter. Being divided, not doing anything. Being divided. We have never been united. There's never been a time in the history of forever where white people were uniting with black people. There, there is, I told you guys when I opened the chat, I said, name me one country in the world where white people are living in harmony and peace with other races. One country. One country. White people want themselves alone. And we should let them live alone, but not in Africa. Not in Africa. Don't build your Orania here. Go and build your Orania in the Dutch. No problem. Go and build your Orania in Europe. No problem. Not here. This is our land. Awe umakulu. Molo, 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 molo. Thank you so much. Yanga amazing. Andime minyaka elishumi. Okay, is it possible? It's possible when survival in European? I'm not sure what you're saying, Baki. I'm not sure what you're saying. I am lagging behind. The president of Congo is Tshisekedi. Okay, thank you so much. Thank you so much, Tshisekedi. Yes. There's so many comments. Excuse me, guys. Write your comment. Do not be impatient. I'll get to all the comments before we close the live chat. Okay. What are we saying here? Again, when are black people gonna stick together? Only politics can make black people stick together. Only rules, laws can make black people stick together. If the law of the country says we are not buying anything made in China, we will be forced to build those things that we are in China. They might not be the same quality because China is years ahead, but we would have started. So meaning 4, 5, 50 years from now, our products will improve. And our children's children will finally use products that are written made in Africa, made in Ghana, made in Togo, made in Ethiopia, made in South Africa, made in Mozambique. As long as we start, Bros cooking, but no one is hungry. When are black people gonna stick together? When we are United Republic of Africa, Youth Revolution. Yes, Tito, you are right. Tito Johnson. Only youth can, only the United Nation of Africa can really unite Africa, to be honest. Okay. We don't own the money corporations, meaning the banks, so we will always rely on others to survive. And we don't have to, excuse me, we don't have to rely on other people. We don't have to rely on other people. But the issue is that our presidents are bought in dollars. You don't know how much these big corporations are sending in cash to the president's houses. In South Africa, last year we found a situation where close to 30 something billion rands, and it was, I think, I think it was 3 or 4 US dollars, million US dollars, found in the couch, inside the couch that you sit on when you're watching TV. One of our presidential areas, which we call Pala Pala residence, there was cash in the couch. Cash, 30 something million rand. So our president are getting bought, ladies and gentlemen. Oh my goodness. Uh, Useless, you can survive without money. No, there has to be a modem of exchange. Remember, before the white people came here, when the white people came here, that stupid man, Jan van Riebeck, he said, when he wrote a letter back to the Dutch people, he said, we have met an area that is like no other in the world. South Africa has got no prison. And that goes for the rest of Africa also. No prison, no hospitals, no formal schools. Our schools were sitting around a fire and knowledge will be transferred orally. And they will speak to us and tell us how African practices are made and everything. No prisons because the kings could control the people. Our sisters walked with all that melanin, all that nice African bootylicious everything, but there wasn't any rape cases. When a man wanted a woman, they would approach a woman respectfully. That's how we Africans were. But when the Dutch people came here, seeing all of these beautiful things that their women don't have, they started raping our people, and that's how colored people came about. Moving to digital currency will be 100% worse. We're not moving to digital currency. No, we are we are on an invent trap until we become visible. Thanks, King. Thank you, King. Linna. Yes, thank you so much, Linna. Babo, thank you. England, you are so on point. I'm a Black American now living in Ghana for 9 years. Keep speaking the truth. My goodness, Ghana, I don't know when you guys are going to have an election. I don't know what the fuck is happening in Ghana. I don't know why the rest of the African countries are allowing this nonsense to happen in Ghana. Just pure nonsense. King, you are always on point, brother. On point. Thank you very much. I'm trying my best. Uh, Stuart, hello, hello. You are welcome. You are welcome. I really, I promise you guys. I don't know what is it that my Caucasian brothers and sisters are doing here. Um, I don't want to say we welcome their presence because I believe that African problems must be solved by African issues, African people. We must never take money from Russia. We must never take any help from any European country. We must not take money and aid from especially America, that filthy country. We must never take anything from those people. We as Africans must solve our problems through African solutions and through African people. Tell me if I'm right or wrong. I just stumbled on this live. You are right about the colored people. Of course I'm right. Everybody knows that. Colin says good night. Colin Nkosi. Good night. Good night. Colin Nkosi. Excuse me. Colin Nkosi. Good night, my brother. We still have about 30 minutes to go. The colored people were raped. Our Xhosa and Khoisan brothers and sisters were raped because they were more beautiful than the Dutch women. And remember, these are men that were in a ship. And sometimes when men were traveling in the ship, they will leave the women behind. So you will find a ship that has got only men traveling to Africa to come and conquer here. Because remember, they are ready for war, they are ready to fight and everything. So they will leave the women behind. So their testosterone would be up. And that was another reason why the testosterone they left the women, so that the testosterone can be up. So when it comes to time of fighting, that they are ruthless. You must ask me, I'm a boxer, a professional boxer. So when you get into boxing, at least 1 month before you fight. No more sex. You cannot release your testosterone anymore. Diane van der Merwe says, what do you think we need to do? First of all, Caucasian people must respect Africans, Afrikaner people. Julle moet nou swart mense respekteer. You must respect African people and understand that your ancestors have done crimes that will traumatize the African nation forever. Imagine in Congo, King, what's that guy's name that cut the hands off the people in Congo? The Belgium guy, King Leopold. Oh yeah, King Leopold. I think that's his name. Cutting the hands off Africans' name and killed over 2 million Africans. That is why Congo finds itself where it is today. It takes decades, if not centuries, to recover from that. When do you think we're going to recover from speaking our colonizers' language? Because remember, in the beginning, they were beating us up for us to speak their language, especially Afrikaans. They were forcing us. If you did not have an Afrikaans surname, they will not employ you. If you do not have an Afrikaans name or an English name, they will not entertain you. Today, they are not forcing us. We are doing it unconsciously so, because the system still works. The system is still in place. You find black people voting for a white party like the DA, useless party. I just showed you there are 7 pillars that they are talking about improving South Africa, but there's nothing about land there. Did you know that black people are gods? Do you believe in religion? Religion as a Pan-Africanist separates us. If you say, do I believe in spirituality, is a different question. Religion separates us as Africans. Because I'm a Christian, I'm going to discriminate my Muslim brothers, and I'm going to disagree with them on fundamental things. And then the next thing, I don't want to work with them. So I say, forget about religion. You are born African first before you are any religion. You are born African first before you are any other religion. Religion is a tool of dividing us. If you are a Christian, it's okay, pray. If you are a Muslim, it's okay, pray. Hindu, pray. African spiritualities, you practice African spirituality, pray. But how is your religion assisting us in liberating the black person from the colonizers? That is the question that we must ask. You understand what I'm saying? So as Pan-Africanists, we are very careful in even speaking about religion, because other people are too sensitive about their God. Their God that does not help us black people. How do we get Africa working again? Transport, housing, jobs, 100% boss. I'm living and working with black Africans. We love each other like brothers and sisters. I think it's your own decision. There isn't enough white people to change the lives of black people. Let me make an example. You can meet a nice white person that believes that, you know what, I have a farm and this farm is too big for me and my family only. I am willing to share my farm. But the majority, especially Afrikaner people, will not agree with that decision. They will fight that white person to say, there is no mogo. Hoekom gee jy die dom kaffers jou land? Hier is die land wat ons Ons boer op die land. Ons werk hard op die land. Die kaffers moet net kom en werk op die land soos werkers. Hulle kan nie die land own nie. You understand what I'm saying? So when you say you work and you live amongst black people, you're probably speaking about an urban situation. You're not speaking about the rural situation. Because how many white people are in a rural situation? How many white people are in the Cape Flats, in Guguletu? How many white people are in Soweto? How many white people are in Seshihu? How many white people are in Venda, Guyane? How many white people are in Tembisa, Alexandra? How many white people are in Kwaggafontein, Kwamhlanga? How many white people are in Umlazi? How many white people are in Umhlanga? You understand what I'm saying? The majority of white people, the stats, when you go to Stats South Africa and you check who owns the land of South Africa, 80% belongs to only white people, and white people amount to only 7% of the population of South Africa. Pure rubbish. Religion is a tool for power. Yes, I agree. Africa and Albania, Africa. Thank you so much. What do you say about colored people? Colored people who don't identify themselves as black, I have a problem with. I have a problem with them. Problem number one, the first colored person came from a black mother. The first colored person came from a black mother. That mother was either Zulu, Xhosa, or Khoisan. Those are the people that got raped to produce colored people. In most cases, it's the Khoisan and the Xhosa people. In most cases, it's the Khoisan and the Xhosa people. So now, if a Xhosa woman, a Khoi woman, gets raped by the white settlers who come here, and they are now pregnant, they give birth to a child, a mixed child. And in African language, in African rules, we say a child speaks his mother's tongue. Why do we say a child speaks? That's why they ask you, wherever you go in Africa, they ask, what is your mother tongue? Because the mother is the one that raises the child, and the mother's language will then be spoken by the child. You carry your father's surname and everything, but your mother is the first breast of knowledge that you suck from. So colored people, after this, our Xhosa sisters and our Khoisan sisters gave birth to these children. Their skin tone was different. They were a little bit lighter. Their hair texture was different, a little bit smoother, unlike mine. Mine is the hair texture of Jesus as described in the book of Revelation. Wool, hair like wool, sheep wool. Okay? So instead of colored people choosing their mother tongue, they chose their father's language, which was Dutch, which was Afrikaans. Okay? So they grew up thinking that they are better than the black children because they were treated better. They were treated not better, different. They were also kafirs, but they were different type of kafirs. You understand what I'm saying? The white people could trust them a little bit more because of the tone of their skin. So later on, now you find two colors mating. Now, black and white is no longer involved. It's colored on top of a colored mating. They produce now what we call 100% colored child. Who's got a bloodline somewhere of black, a bloodline somewhere of white, but was produced by two colored parents. So now the race of colors then started. And now my issue with colors is that they chose their oppressor's language. They chose to speak Afrikaans. Afrikaans is not their mother tongue. Afrikaans is not an African language. That's why you will see most of colored people siding with white people than black people. You will see more colored people fighting black people than white people. You see with the Patriotic Alliance going and fighting Zimbabweans at the border. You see them fighting Zimbabweans in schools. So identify as black. Just like Trevor Noah. Trevor Noah's mother is Xhosa, his father is a Caucasian white man, and he's from Switzerland, I think. Um, so his father is from Switzerland, his mother is Xhosa, but Trevor Noah identifies as a black person. Why can't colored people do that? That's my question. So I've answered your question. It's facts, brother. It's facts, brother. Race is a division. Race was never a division until white people came. Um, Race was never a, excuse me, I was reading something here. It says Albania is the new Africa. I think you want to say Al-Kaban. Okay, but anyway, thank you for that. Race was never an issue until white people came. We are from our mothers. Why do we only pray to our fathers? The father carries the lineage of the family, not your mother. The wife changes the surname, not the father. So the father is, I would say, more equal than the mother. All educated must leave South Africa. Let it rot. Yes, go. Bye bye. Can go. It's gonna be far and beyond race. Race is important, ladies and gentlemen. Don't try to push race aside. The reason why this channel exists is because of Pan Africanism pro black. That is why we are here. If you want pro white, go to AfriForum. If you want multiracial, go to the DA. Go to other places, not here. If you want a person that kisses white asses and does this and that, shit on black people, go to Penwell the Black Pen. Go to other people, not here. Here you will only find pro-Africanism. That's all you're going to find. You're never gonna find me shitting on black people. It's never gonna happen. Or thinking like, let's work together with white people, let's work together with everyone, let all the races on earth live in peace with one. Not here. You're not gonna find that story here. You're not gonna find that nonsense here. About race. What is Pan-African? I'm South African. Am I a Pan-Africanist? Enzo. Thank you for that question, because people misinterpret what Pan-Africanism is. They misunderstand what Pan-Africanism means. Take the word pan and replace it with pro. Pan means you are fully devoted on what? African. So everything that you do, everything that you say is to advance Africans. You cannot be a Pan-Africanist if you think, for example, you want to solve a problem of South Africa, but China must help you. You are not a Pan-Africanist. You cannot be a Pan-Africanist and on your Facebook, it is all help Palestine, free the children of Palestine, but you say nothing about the wars in Africa. You are not a Pan-Africanist. You are not a Pan-Africanist if you don't long for Africa to be completely independent from the rest of the world. You are not a Pan-Africanist. Pan-Africanism is that even when you speak English, you are disgusted because you know that your ancestors were killed for this language. For us to speak English, our ancestors were killed and forced to speak Afrikaans and speak English. Killed and forced to speak Portuguese and speak French here in Africa. A Pan-Africanist is angry that the world measurement of riches is in dollars and not in an African currency. A Pan-Africanist is angry that Africa does not have one army like China has. China has got almost the same population as Africa. India has got almost the same 1.7, 1.5, 1.3 billion people. Africa has got 1.5 billion people, but Africa has got 58 presidents. India has got one president. China has got the same 1 point something million billion people, but one president. That is Pan Africanism. In short, can go inland. Brother, I think we have got a whole thing wrong. Is you are stuck on the past, and if you stay stuck on the past, you'll always have some struggles to on a conversation. Only a white person says it. Only a white person and a coconut black says you are stuck on the past. Do you think the future of Africa is speaking English forever? Do you think the future of Africa is buying European cars? Do you think the future of Africa is buying European fashion? Do you think the future of Africa is buying Chinese technology forever? Do you think the future of Africa is using the dollar? Do you think the future of Africa? So you want to come to our country, rape our people, steal our land, change our surnames, steal our spirituality, steal our religion. Then years later, tell me that I'm stuck in the past. Will you appreciate it if I rape your daughter today and kill her, and rape your other daughter and make children with her? 10 years later, I tell you it's in the past. Will you appreciate it? Will you appreciate it if I raped your mother and killed her? If I cut your father's penis out? If I hanged your grandfather and tell you forget about it, it was 10 years ago, will you appreciate it? As a white person, if I come into your house, shoot you on the head, take your daughter, rape her, take your wife, kick her out of the house, take your house and live in it. And when your children's children want their house back, and tell them stop being stuck in the past. This rubbish is why I don't want white people next to me. When we come to speaking Pan-Africanism, if there was a way, I swear, if there was a way where I can block white people from entering my church, I would have done it. It's just that there's no way. I don't have control, because this is how they think. They don't know the emotional trauma and the generational curse that follows African people because of what happened in the past. They don't understand it. They don't want to understand why we are crying about being colonized, still being colonized till today. Congo, the richest country when it comes to minerals, 19 mines that are mining cobalt, 15 of them are Chinese. Congolese government owns no mines in Congo. What type of rubbish is that? What do you mean the past? Those things are still here today in today's world. So I'm not here about the past. I'm here about the now. But the past affects the now, and the now will affect the tomorrow. He's not even speaking about the whole world situation, because black people are everywhere, even in Australia. But guess where they are original are now? Australia also comes from black people. You Google Australia, the original people of Australia are black people. You Google the original people of China are black people. The original Russians are black people. The original Americans are black Indians. Black people are everywhere. You go to India and Google the people there and research who are the first people in that land. It will come back to black people. George, we as Africans have to be careful. Artificial intelligence that is coming. Oh my goodness, that's another topic to speak about. Artificial intelligence is AI is going to destroy the whole of Africa. Hi, my king. and our family. Thank you so much. The mother is God. Membership. Black people are lost. Yes, we are, but we are finding ourselves today. Um, it has been used for more than a decade now. Uh, we are all equal. You'll never be equal. You'll never be equal as a what you call as a black person. If you are seeking equality, okay, let me not say as a black person. As a pan Africanist, we don't seek equality, we seek revenge. We are not going to turn the other cheek. We are not going to be raped to seek equality. We are not going to be chased out of our land to seek equality. How can you come into my house, kill my people, and when I'm free and I'm strong enough to fight you, then you want to tell me we must share our house equally? Are you normal in your head? How can I share equally my resources that God has given me on my land equal with my colonizer? We are not equal with these people. I refuse to be equal with any colonizer that has came here to kill our people. Kinshasa, Congo, there are many, more than 1,500 churches and mosques, but less than 5,000 factories. Remember, this nation produced 60% of the minerals of Africa. Congo is not supposed to be poor. Congo is supposed to be the richest country in the world, not in Africa, in the world. That cobalt mines that are there, their industry is estimated to grow to into the trillions of rands in the next 5 years because everyone is moving away from fossil fuel to battery power. And the cobalt is used in batteries. So Congo is not supposed to be free because it supplies 80% of the cobalt in the whole world. So everything comes from Congo basically. That's why I like this channel, King, Black and nothing else. Of course, that's why they hate this channel. That's why they hate this channel because we are pro-black and nothing else. We don't want to talk about other people. We're not worried about other people. We are worried about us. So when you speak about a problem, speak about an African problem. When you speak about a solution, speak about a solution that comes from Africans. I don't want to hear anything. I'm not one of those people that think, oh, let's work with Russia so that we can, they can help us with nuclear power. Why can't we do it ourselves? Why can't we? Why the fuck is South Africa importing toothbrushes from China? Toothbrushes, toothpicks, everything that we are importing plates, we are importing chairs, things that we can build here in Africa, we are importing them. It's pure rubbish. It's pure rubbish. It cannot be that our politicians are happy with us importing clothes. In this time and age, we can produce our own clothes. I'm wearing black thoughts, by the way, 100% South African made. Black Heart, I mean, not Black Thought. Black Thought is a rapper, one of my favorite rappers. Africa problem is our leaders. Some want to remain in the chiefdoms rather than uniting Africa. We don't. Africa, listen. If you speak about Assimi, the general of Mali, if you speak about Ardora Hami of Niger, if you speak about Ibrahim Touré of Burkina Faso, those are the only right now presidents that are alive that can tell me anything about Pan-Africanism. Those three are the only presidents in Africa right now that are standing up for African people. Those three. No other. Burkina Faso, Mali, and Niger. No other. Don't tell me about the South African president. Pure nonsense. Don't tell me about the Nigerian old man, pure rubbish. Don't tell me about the Ghanaian old man, pure nonsense. Don't tell me about Ivory Coast. Don't tell me about anything. Don't tell me about Congo. Don't tell me about Rwanda. Don't tell me about Uganda. Okay, Uganda a little bit. Uganda is doing well. Uganda, almost. But now I don't like them because they are one of the countries that are funding the M23 to fight the Congo army. So that's the problem. What watch are you wearing, brother? Is it from Africa? Don't be biased. Is it from Africa? Can you guys see? Don't care about materialistic stuff, man. Tian van der Merwe. Ek ken wat soek jy hier, Tian? Ek ken nie van ek is hier met om te praat met my swart mense. Ek ken nie wat soek jy hier, meneer van der Merwe. Ek ken nie wat soek jy nie hier nie. Hoekom gaan jy nie terug by die wat is hom naam? By die Dutch mense. Hoekom gaan jy nie terug huis toe? Tian van der Merwe, wat soek jy? Jy check watter oorlosie het ek aan al die domheid goedes. Daai goedes is nie belangrik nie. Asseblief man, ons soek julle, ek soek julle nie hierdie op my chat nie. Asseblief, gaan maar weg, is alright. Jesus Christ. These people, good night from under the bed. Imana, you are in the closet now, you are in the bed. I might be a white person sleeping next to you tonight. No white person sleeps next to me. No white person sleeps next to me. Does not happen like that. I don't do any bunny helping. I don't do that nonsense. He's cooking. He's cooking, but no one else is hungry. Our African brothers are not hungry. Are not hungry. I must close the thing. Normal people with lost IQ by listening to this guy. No, it's all right. It's all right. I love Africa. Thank you so much, my African brother. You should be blocking here, honestly. Oh, yes, I know I can block people from chatting, but it's also, you know, sometimes what white people say on the comment section shows us what they think about us, you know. So sometimes I don't block them just so that you guys can see how heartless and how inconsiderate they are of the black struggle and how they simply don't care. Which African country has ever had an apology from white people, from their colonizers? Where have you had a white person apologizing for the crimes of their ancestors here in our land? Where have you seen white people live in peace with other people? Does not happen. So I'm not surprised, especially Afrikaner people. Afrikaner people and the Belgian people and the Portuguese, one of the heartless people, and the French, one of the heartless people that you can find in your life. No heart in their body. Nothing like that. Afrikaans people, they just don't care. They just don't care. I live amongst them. I work with them, so I know what I'm talking about. I was in African schools my whole life. You see, someone wrote, go back to the farms. You see, I don't know what farms are they talking about. Don't know. People who come here illegally with a ship and start stealing our land are telling us to go back to the farms. You know, we know the truth, and yet it can't stick together. That is gonna take. What is it gonna take? That may be your opinion. Let's see. We will choose. King, my man. A young man and African, we are too relaxed. Yes, these are the comments that I want. We will only win the battle if we learn and liberate ourselves. We still believe speaking and being eloquent English. We are, my God. That's what I'm crying about. That's what I'm crying about. That's what um I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about. There is no revolution that is going to take place if it's not led by black young people. The youth must lead the revolution that is going to take back our land. Oh my goodness. There's other things that I wanted to cover in these things. A big up from Uganda. Uganda, thank you so much for tuning in. Thank you so much. You are welcome. Oh my God, I'm leaving. Bye bye. Um, Wearing every expensive colonizing clothes, we think we are better than others Africans. I'm totally behind you when you want to start this school. Yes, I am starting the school. I am starting the school. Busy with the registration process. Paseta is on the road. I believe I'm going to what you got um, meet challenges in the process of registration in terms of finances, some requirements that I'm going to have. I believe that is going to happen. But God did not only place the school in my heart, there's other institutions that we can build that we don't need permission from the government from. You understand? So we're going to be deliberate in everything that we're doing to make sure that we put our African people first. If we build our hospitals, we're going to make sure African people are at the top of the priority of service for that African hospital that we're going to build. African and Chinese are able to make what has already been made. Copy and paste is easy. Come with the new material if you can. I agree. I agree with you with an Israel flag. I know and believe this will liberate ourselves, generational coming and changing the system that we instilled in us, in our minds. Okay. Are you in South Africa? Zon, yes, I'm in South Africa. I'm in South Africa. I'm in South Africa. Hi, hi, hello, Jack. Hello, Jack. Welcome. Actually, I'm done speaking. I'm done speaking, guys. We have been speaking. I've been speaking for 2 hours now. I've read every single comment that has came. It's only Van der Merwe that got blocked because he was starting to post nonsense. And that is the thing. We can disagree. You see, when it comes to my African brother and sister, and I can see that this African brother is totally lost in terms of black consciousness. They are totally colonized. And we are fighting, me and that African brother and sister, maybe on the comment section. I fight them in the hopes of corrections and not in the hope of killing or blocking or destroying. That is not my intent. That is not how Pan-Africanists act. When a Pan-Africanist brother and sister sees a lost brother, they seek to help that child. Understand? That child is in the river drowning. They don't know that the river is not good for them, but they are fighting. They are fighting to fight us. You tell Africans, can Africa have one currency? No, Africa can never have one currency. That is nonsense. We have so many countries that is the problem. That is the problem. Let's solve the problem. Can Africa speak one language? No, Africans can never speak one language. English is better. Everyone in the world speaks English. That is the problem. That is the problem. So that's what we want to change as Africans, as Pan Africans. That's what we want to change. But you will find that you will get the most resistance from your African brothers and sisters. That's why we have to start with the younger generation. The old generation, we fucked up already. Our minds are programmed to protect the colonizers' agenda. Agenda in education, agenda in business, agenda in politics. We want to protect the white people no matter what. because we are fucked up. Our minds, the trauma is there. But an unborn child knows nothing. So that unborn child must be born in an education system that teaches them agriculture, that teaches them technology, and gives them the skill. You see how Chinese children at a very small age, 9 years, building robots. African children need to do that also. But the educational system that we have, what do they call it? In South Africa, we call it the basic education system. Just imagine you want your children to compete in the global market, but you're giving them the basic education system. What type of politicians do we have? We, as local, can start creating in our own minds the new Africa. We have also the youth need to come together and challenge government and hold. We have to create those institutions. We have to. I said we have to have our own what you call Afro Forum. We have to have an organization, a youth organization, that each youth member that is part of that organization donates 10 rands a month, and make sure from donating that 10 rand per month, we fight for African issues. That organization must have professional chartered accountants, it must have professional advocates, it must have professional lawyers, it must have professional businessmen, it must have all these professional lecturers, professors, and teachers that are in that organization that are going to drive that organization. And we have to make sure that we take that money, that 10 rand that each young person is giving to us, and we fight. So, for example, if we see a school discriminating a black child because of a hair texture, we all get in our fucking cars, we go to that school, and we close that shit up. And not only that, we make sure that we follow up on the court. We open a case. We make sure that someone gets prosecuted for the crime of racism in South Africa. Now, one, load shedding is the best black invasion ever. No offense. I'm black, my bro. Oh God, here you see what I'm talking about. Here's another one. Here's another one. Let's read this comment. I feel sorry for these people. But anyways, I hope this is the last comment I read. Vortex. Vortex says load shedding is the best black invention ever. No offense, I'm black, my brew. He says I'm black, my brew, of which I don't believe is black because black people don't say brew, say bra. Black people don't say brew. Black people say bra. So this is not a black person. Well, I was not around in the time when whoever colonized South Africa, but I think that maybe they came to teach us. You see, I told you this is not a black person speaking. That's not a black person speaking. That's not a black person speaking. Once you have done with your school, King, my daughter will be one of the children, one of the learners, if I would afford the school fees. I don't have a job. They will make provision for the queen. Will make the provision for um, what you call for that for your daughter. Will make provision. Will make provision. So this vortex person is not a black person. I wish I had a way of blocking this Caucasian rubbish Afrikaners on my land, because they are exposing themselves in the language that they are writing. There's a way we African people communicate, especially here in South Africa. We don't use the word bro. Understand? And it's only a white person that will say, I was not around at that time when whoever was colonizing whoever. That's white mentality. So I'm not even going to answer that one. I don't have time. I'm here for African people. I'm here for I'm not Antonio. Hola, I'm black, my bro. What type of imposer is this? No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Voltex. Voltex. You are not Voltex. You are not Voltex. I'm not talking about you. And stop using the word brew. Brew is for brewer. In South Africa, we use bra. Brayaka. Brayami, Bra, B-R-A, not B-R-U. Broer is for short for an Afrikaans word, broer. Not, we don't use that nonsense. I wish Africa all the best for the future. Africa's time now. I was replying to him, King. Okay. Sorry, my brother. Oh, so you are replying. Sorry. Sometimes I catch up with the chats a little bit late. Excuse me, Obin or Dean. Excuse me. So yes, we have spoken enough, guys. Every Saturday we do this. Try to squeeze in a day in a week where I go live again. My apologies, Abin. Okay, I did not know that you are replying to him. Yeah. Um, um, we try to conscientize ourselves as African. Uh, yeah, it happens. Thanks, King. No, thank you so much. My apology, my African brother. Thank you so much for understanding and not taking offense. We must stop taking offense as Africans. Okay, we are easily offended when it comes to issues of unity. So this type of spirit is the spirit that I like. King, don't worry about those trolls on your page. Keep speaking the truth. And of course, they don't bother me. They don't bother me. Like I said, every time I go live, they are here. I don't know how they find me. I really don't know. But, I appreciate the fact that they expose themselves on the comment section, and it then proves our points that Black people are hated at a high degree, at a high level by white people. And they've got no considerance or no regret as to what happened in the past. They don't care. They want to keep the past in the past. They don't care about what happened in the past. They want the now. And they don't even want equality. They want to keep things the way it is now because it favors them. Remember, a white person can go anywhere in the world and not face racism. Only a black person goes anywhere in the world, and the first thing that he will be faced is racism. When we have these lectures, we actually changing the energy of the universe. Thank you so much. That's the thing. That's the thing. As long as we understand as Africans that we are gods and we carry the power of the word, and the word is a seed. And once the seed, falls on fertile ground, that is your heart, it germinates and it grows, and the tree will bear fruit of a liberated Africa. The word, like you say, we put it out there. We are then putting good energy out in the universe, and that will change Africa one day. We start with the word, then we stand up, we come with an action, and then we expect the harvest. It's very serious what you're saying. The universe is in all beings. Yes, that's what I'm saying. And the universe is in us. We have direct effect on the universe. Yes, that's what I'm saying. You're dropping knowledge there. You're dropping knowledge. We are conscious beings, unlike billions of other people. Yes, colored people are the true original people of South Africa. Black people are like, yeah, whatever. Yes, so that's what we want. We want to spread. We want to spread that positive energy, and we want to make sure that we continue with having these lectures, having these meetings. This I call it a meeting. I'm not a lecture. I'm not lecturing anyone. I believe that you guys are educating me as much as I'm educating you. And sometimes I'll go live with some of you guys because the knowledge that you guys have, sometimes you are more knowledgeable than me in other issues that happen in Africa. I think if we write an exam about Africa right now, I would pass that exam, but I believe that there are other African people that know better in other situations more than me. You understand what I'm saying? And some of you have got better solutions than myself. So I'm not going to pretend that I'm the all-knowing whatever. There's no such thing. I'm a young man. I'm in my mid 30s. I still have a lot to learn. I've not been through life the way it's supposed to be, but I'm at that age where, as a young man, I need to challenge everything because old men don't have the energy to fight on. I'm willing to die. I'm willing to die for the African agenda. Anytime, any day, come, let us fight because I will die with the fight. I will not lie on the ground like my ancestors and take it. Take it. I will fight for my African people. I will fight and kill for my African people without thinking twice. Without thinking twice. That is why it is also important that we as African fathers we teach our children self-defense. You understand? We teach our children self-defense. Our children need to know African wrestling. Our children need to know African hand combat. Our children need to know African weapon combat. Children need to know all of these things so that our children cannot be weak when they are in the army or when they are met with a situation where they have to protect themselves physically. I teach my child boxing all the time. All the time. You guys can go and watch my shorts. I just posted a short where I was teaching my boy boxing king. And one last thing, remember, we are nine ether beings and they are six ether beings. We are nine ether beings and there are six ether beings. You see, that's exactly what I'm talking about. There's too much knowledge here about things that I know little about. So I'm very happy about the people in the comment section. Totally agree. Check out Arita Alex. I'll check it out when you're going to Congo. The rainforest is missing you. Speaking about Congo, I don't know if this is a diss or whatever this person is saying. They're saying the rainforest misses you. I oh, yes, it is a disease. Say, when are you going to Congo? The rainforest misses you. You're not used to living in structures like this. Yeah, you see, that's why sometimes I leave these people to speak because it's important. Because white people, all they have is hate in their heart. That's all they have. They have hate in their heart. Speaking about Congo, Congo has got the biggest forest in the world. Now, if you Google the biggest forest in the world, they're going to tell you that it's the Amazon. It's not true. It's the Congo forest. The Congo forest not only has got a better forest than the Amazon, but there are trees that are used for exclusive furnitures from the Congo. That's another reason why Congo is fought because they've got trees for days, quality trees in Congo. So that those trees are used for exclusive furnitures and all of that stuff is being taken out of Congo. They are cutting that forest bit by bit, but they are not finishing it because it has got too much quality and it's got trees that are hundreds and of years old. So yes, like this stupid person said, I'll have to go back to my Congo and enjoy my forest there. So that's what we are doing. But anyways, um, let me see. Uh, we have to take action from other people. Trina is here. Agcina bayeke nje ayami, bayeke nje ayami. I've blocked him. Sorry for that. Sometimes I let them speak so that we can hear their minds. It's important to hear their mind because it reminds us of the hate that they have for us. Yeah, no, it's not a. You are right, Trina. This is not a platform to entertain that type of nonsense. I entertain them too much because sometimes I have the skin for such people. But I'm pro-African. Like I said, if there was a way of blocking Caucasian people from entering my church, it's possible. But we have to remember that even this platform that we're using is not African. YouTube generates a lot of money from content creators like myself, and Africa is not catching up by creating its own YouTube. Africa does not have its own TikTok. Africa does not have its own Facebook. But listen this, Africa is the biggest consumer of all those platforms. How does that make sense? Africa is the biggest consumer of all the platforms. TikTok from China, YouTube from America. I believe Facebook also Zuckerberg from America, and I'm not sure where Instagram comes from. But we are the biggest consumers of these platforms. Africans are. So you find us following all of this rubbish shit, watching Chinese eating, watching nonsense, just watching nonsense on the platforms. But we ourselves are not creating and promoting our own platforms so that Google can come and say, "Can I please advertise on your platform?" Because they will not have a choice because the consumers will be this side. If we as Africans can unite, even companies like YouTube will close because if Africa chooses to consume African content only, all of these other platforms will close. I promise you. Yeah, thank you guys. We've been talking for 2 hours, almost 2 hours, 30 minutes now. I'm very appreciative of the comments on the comment section, the love that you guys are constantly giving me, and the support, and continue to pray for your boy. It's not easy having and running a Pan Africanist platform. This is not entertainment. This is not gossip. This is not sports. This is not, it's it's a calling. Pan Africanism is a calling. So I don't take what I'm doing very lightly. I am I know the challenges that come with being a Pan Africanist and always having eyes on you and always having attacks. I've been threatened on my emails. I've been threatened. You don't understand the type of threats that a person gets. But anyway, um, like Americans say, I wish a nigga would. Ooh, I wish I wish the only way you will get me is if you take me like AKA from my back. That's the only way. No man is going to come in front of me, talk rubbish. No racist is going to come in front of me and try to intimidate me uh, to my face. It will never work. It will end with someone going to prison and the other one going to hospital or going into the grave. That's just that simple. I'm not that kind of a person. We are very nice and kind here on social media, but should you meet me face to face and you cross the lines, and you will not enjoy our interaction. That one I can promise you. So as like I said, as Africans, let's teach our children how to handle firearms. Let's teach our wives how to handle firearms. Let's teach our children how to throw their two hands, how to kick, how to use weaponry, how to use knives to protect themselves, how to use guns to protect themselves. That is very important. You cannot be an African man right now in Africa not owning a firearm. It is to your disadvantage that you are doing that. Should anyone come into your house at night, you need to make that person meet their maker in protecting your wife and children and your family members. Do not think that you can fight criminals using your hands. Do not fight. Listen, when you are visiting South Africa, I'm here. Tell me. I'm always happy to receive my African brothers and sisters. Make sure that you call me and make sure that you get touch with me, and I will make you enjoy South Africa. South Africa is a very nice country, a very welcoming country, contrary to the popular belief of South Africa being xenophobic and all of that. The process of imparting knowledge, skill, judgment. This is meaning of this meaning of education. Education is not about having esteemed qualification, King. You are educated because you are important. Not thank you so much. You're imparting knowledge. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. Africa has great food. It's very important to point that one. Like it says, South Africa has got great food. South Africa has great people. South Africa has got great people. I think every African country will argue that they've got great food. You understand? But one thing for sure about South Africa, if you're coming for the first time, you're going to enjoy the scenery. You're going to enjoy the scenery. South Africa is one of those few African countries that can take you to the biggest urban like Sandton, Durban, Cape Town, where you see America, and it takes you to down to the a place where you can meet nature in Pumalanga and Limpopo, the Kruger National Park, and it gives you the in between the ghettos, and it can give you rural also. Like South Africa is just like one of the best countries. I hear Kenya is also like that. So it's like you're going to be amazed coming to South Africa, coming from outside South Africa. The only people that don't appreciate South Africa are South Africans themselves. Unfortunately, South Africans are always complaining about one thing or another, but people who come from other countries, Zimbabwe, Lesotho, Nigeria, and whatever, they love South Africa. They just love South Africa. Okay, that's enough for today, guys. Can two or three of you go on the comment section and say good night, King, so I can go? I need to do some few videos for you guys, so that when you wake up tomorrow 7 o'clock, you get the content again. Sisonke King, ngiyabonga Gcina. Can I get two more people that can release me so I can go and sleep? And nothing good about waking up in the morning. Life is death, and death is life. Well, yeah, that's how you feel. Thank you so much, guys. Good night, King. That's the realm of the freedom. Very deep stuff there. I see what you're doing. I see what you're doing. Have a good night, King. Okay, three people have released me. Thank you so much, my African brothers. Wherever you are, make sure that you preach Pan Africanism. Show fellow African brothers and sisters love. Make sure that you protect your African sisters. Do not turn a deaf ear or an eye away when you see abuse to women and children. Stand up. Let's be African men with integrity. You understand? We are spirit by nature. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, guys. Until we meet next time, don't forget to pray. And after you pray, stand up, African child. Do your best so that God can do the rest. Peace in Pan Africanism. I salute you.